So let's start by finally giving our ratings for The Mummy. I gave it, what, a 5 out of 10?
I give it a 4.5 out of 10.
The camera ran out of power right as we were wrapping up last time. But now we have 77 minutes of power, so unless we really drag this out, it should be better. I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we just watched Baby Driver.
Hey, that was a lot better
better
than last time. Yeah. So this is going to be a lot harder to review because it was actually really good. Now we start off with Baby, the driver of a getaway car, and they're just pulling up to a bank to rob it. All the bank robbers get out, run inside, and Baby is listening to some music.
And damn, it was so well done. The gunshots in the building and the entire getaway chase scene, which was just amazing, all to the beat of the music. They eventually pull into this parking garage, switch cars, and drive off no one the wiser. So they get back to Kevin Spacey, who counts out all the money, and Baby goes off to get some coffee, and he sees this girl walking by, and it's obvious that he wants some of that ass.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey is like, everyone gets an even share, even Baby. Kevin Spacey is the orchestrator of all of their operations. He's like, all right, Baby, give me back almost all of that money. He makes it clear that Baby owes him for some mysterious thing that happened in the past. So after this first job, he goes back home, and he lives in this dingy little apartment with this old man.
Yeah.
He's deaf, and he's taking care of him, and he's doing sign language. He says, I'm just doing one more job, and then my debt is repaid.
Yep.
And then I'm done.
So they go to the last job. They use a different crew every time.
One of the guys in this new crew is Bats.
Yeah.
He's very crazy. He's explained at one point that Baby has tinnitus. He has ringing in his ears.
Yeah.
He listens to the music to drown it out. He's like, I got all the music I need coming from the voices in my head.
Yeah.
No one's allowed to be crazy but me. So one of the guys at the first job is Buddy, right?
Yeah.
And he's there with his girl, Darling. And Buddy's actually pretty nice to Baby. They're like, and so is Darling. They're like pretty cool.
The crew, the second time, is Bats.
No Nose Joe or whatever.
Yeah.
And like this awesome Asian guy.
They go to this next job. They rob this armored truck. Baby looks over and uh-oh, they've killed a guy.
They're doing their getaway driving thing. There's this guy in a truck who's giving them some serious business.
Who just goes full like vigilante mode.
Bats is like leveling this fucking like soft shotgun at this guy's face, and Baby like deliberately does something to
he's like
make
turning
Bats
the steering wheel and,
miss
like,
the shot.
knocks his arm, yeah.
They get back to Doc, right? Same thing. He goes out and grabs the coffee. So they split up the money again. Give Baby his full share. Kevin Spacey's like, well, thanks.
Get that all back.
He says, well, that's it. You
Yeah,
did it.
he
You,
says, I guess that's
you
it,
repaid
yeah.
your debt to me. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Baby. He goes to the diner. He meets that girl he was miring on, Deborah. They're hitting it off so hard. Like she's cute, right? But he's just smooth as hell.
Deborah's like, you're real mysterious, aren't you? And he's like, maybe.
And then they go to the laundromat, and he's just having a great time, and he goes home, and his old guy, he's like, I can't believe you're still doing this. He's like, I'm done. I did it. That was my last job.
So he's collecting all this money to take Deborah out on a real fancy date. Yeah.
She walked out of the diner, and he's just standing there, like, in front of the car, like,
Yeah.
hey, babe.
Yeah,
and,
the door's
like,
open. Like,
Again, it would work on me. Maybe I don't even know him.
right.
But I walk out of the diner, he's standing there in front of his car, like, looking right at me. I'm like, okay.
Super smooth date. It's going great. The waiter comes over. Is like, oh yeah, paid for by a gentleman at the bar over there. He looks over and it's Kevin Spacey. He gives him a look like, hey, we need to talk, pal.
Meet me out back.
He was like, what, do you think you were done? And
Yeah, I was under that impression, yes.
now you're gonna make money. You know, you paid me back. Now you can actually get your cuts.
He's like, come on, baby. I'll kill everyone you love and break your legs if you say no. So he says yes.
So he goes in for the next heist. The crew this time is Buddy, Darlin, and Bats.
They're going to hit up a post office of all places because they got these boxes that are filled with a bunch of something or other. So he has his contact he's alluded to that can turn these slips of paper into different slips of paper. He says, yep, first we just got to go and meet some people, get a bunch of guns. You're all sleeping here tonight. And then bright and early, we're going to take this place out. Hey, Baby, go case the joint with my nephew. Now it's time to go pick up some guns.
Yep, from the butcher.
So they walk up to the butcher and he's like, we have a bunch of fucking pork. Bats sees some letters on one of the boxes, just shoots the guy right in the face or
He
chest
has
or
some
something.
good line. And
There's
Buddy
this
and
part-
Darlin are like, all right.
They're like, yeah, okay, I guess we're killing people. Baby is like rolling across the floor and this guy's like shooting him just with terrible aim at like it's like 6 feet away and he's missing because Baby's rolling too fast.
Dodge roll.
Bats kills this guy who's trying to kill Baby and saves him, so that's nice. They just drive off having murdered this huge warehouse of people, and they hardly even take any guns.
These don't belong
We
to
didn't
us.
buy these. They're driving by the diner Deborah works at, And Bats is like, stop here. I'm hungry. Deborah says something that Bats doesn't like for some reason.
He just doesn't want to like pay for it.
He says, hey, baby, you know her? Baby's like, no, So Bats is like, okay, and just pulls out this gun. Like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna go murder her for no good reason? Baby's like, oh no, freaking wait. And Bats, out of character, is just like, okay, we'll leave then. They get back. Kevin Spacey says, bananas. He follows it up immediately with an explanation. For about a second there, it's just like, excuse me? And he says, it's a code word. Bananas is what my contacts say after a deal goes down successfully. And I have not heard the word bananas all night long. Like, you killed my contact. That's the guy who was going to turn our paper into
different green paper.
Into money. Buddy's like, well, I do know a guy who can still do the same thing. Buddy and Darling are like, well, if we know a guy, then let's do it. Kevin Spacey's like, well, let's see what Baby has to say. Baby was like, we're doing it. And I was like, what? Why didn't he just say no and then leave? Maybe he was afraid he would get hunted down. He tries to sneak out at 2 a.m.
He hops in the car, he turns the corner, and Buddy's just standing there in the headlights.
Buddy's like, dude, if your heart's not in it, you should just head out. Right as Baby's about to be like, okay, see ya.
Yeah, neat.
Bats, like, just hops in the car. He produces Baby's recorder that he's been carrying around. He records stuff and turns it into these fun little
sweet
remixes. Sticks. And he's like, why, you been recording everything? Are you an undercover cop or something? And he's like, I just make songs, it's no big deal. And they're like, okay, that's the shittiest excuse I've ever heard. And Bats knocks him out, and he wakes up to find that they've brought back all the tapes from his house.
They dump them all on the table. Kevin Spacey's pissed.
He plays one, and it's actually just a song remix he made, and they're like, oh, okay, well, he did try sneaking out in the night, so you know what? You're off the job. Like, I'm driving tomorrow, and there's nothing any of you can do to stop me. And they're like, he says we can't stop him. We shouldn't try. And they drive up to the post office. Darling and Buddy go in the front, and he drives Bats around to the back. And everyone busts out the back door, having stolen all this stuff, right? And they hop in the car, and they shoot the security guard, and there's this truck. It's got a bunch of, like, poles hanging off the back, right? Rebar. Good. He floors it forward into this truck such that the rebar shatters through the front windshield and just impale Bats.
He said move.
Yeah. And they're like, that's obviously not what he meant. Come on, dude, read the situation.
Context clues.
All of the cops are like surrounding the place. Darling is like, it's a good day to die. And she pulls out two like automatic guns and starts shooting at all these cops. And they just shoot her like 4 times or something. And she just straight up dies.
Just right on the window.
Buddy is miffed. Buddy goes like full action hero mode. He has serious plot armor going on because he just takes out like a ton of cops while he's shooting them all. Baby just exits. We don't really see the conclusion of that fight, but I assumed Buddy was probably dead. Baby runs up to this old lady in her car. He's like, get out, I'm stealing your car. And he spends a bunch of time flipping through radio stations to find a good hype song. He starts driving away. He's like, oh, she left her purse. Here you go, ma'am.
And gets back to the house where Old Man Joe is, and he takes him to like a...
It's like an old folks home.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Now he has to go pick up Deborah, and she's like, your buddy is here. And I'm like, law, because his name is Buddy.
I didn't actually get that.
And he has a gun under some folded newspaper, a pistol. And he's like, so, baby, you effectively killed the girl I love, and now here we are with the girl you love, and me with this gun.
But I can figure this out. He's like, do you love this girl? I'm like, oh, easy out. And he's like, yes, sir, I do.
And Deborah's like, aw. He's going to shoot her, and then a bunch of cop cars pull up. He folds the newspaper back over his gun. Cop walks in, he's like, do you have a bathroom key? Some waitress comes out, and Buddy turns to her. He's like, yeah, we're doing fine here. Me and my friend were just about to... And he turns back to Baby, and Baby shoots him in the chest. Baby's like, Deborah, let's move. This cop runs in.
He's like, can you show me where you got shot? And he rolls over, shoots him twice.
He's like, right there. So they all go off chasing Baby, leaving Buddy there to just bleed out on the floor. They go off back to Kevin Spacey, of all people. All those tapes you took from my house, I need the one that has recordings of my mom. And Kevin Spacey's like, I'm not going to give you the tape, idiot. And Deborah comes in, she's like, come on, baby, let's get out of here. And he's like, well, I was in love once. Here's the tape. Here, let me help you out. And the elevator door opens. And there are just 3 dudes standing out there, and one of them says, bananas. And Kevin Spacey's like, fuck no, and just shoots him with a shotgun. And Kevin Spacey just kills another guy, bang, kills another guy. He says, I told you, and he gets shot in the back, and he's like, oh, god damn it. He shoots this guy like 3 more times. He didn't let me finish, I'm gonna start over. I told you to run. This cop car starts pulling up. Guess who it is, who didn't die on the floor of that diner after all?
It's Tom Cruise, the god of death.
No, it's Buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And just hits Kevin Spacey, and Kevin Spacey goes, like, slams into the ceiling, and you're like, maybe he's okay. Buddy reverses back over Kevin Spacey, and you're like, oh no, he's dead. And Baby is like standing in front of this elevator. Buddy like floors it, and Baby just jumps over the car while Buddy is trying to reverse out of this elevator he's crashed into. They start driving away. They go up the several floors of a parking garage. Buddy drives up a little bit after, so he didn't see exactly where Baby went. But there's Deborah, and I'm like, holy shit, is he using her as bait? And sure enough, he was using her as bait. Buddy points this gun at her, and then from the other direction, headlights come on, and he's like, what? Baby comes screeching towards him from the other direction, and T-bones Buddy. And I swear, Buddy, if he wanted to shoot her, he had all the time.
Yeah. That would have ruined the whole movie. They're right by the edge of this huge drop-off.
He's like trying to push Buddy's car off of the edge, and he has to push him through this fence, so it's taking some time. So he finally pushes this car through the fence, and it falls down several stories, and it lands upside down, bursts into flames, and now Buddy is definitely dead.
Or is he?
Oh man.
He gets out of the car, walks over, looks over the ledge, and I think we got him.
He turns around, and there's Buddy. He got out of the car somehow.
Yeah.
He's like, you took away something I loved, I'm going to take away something you love. He takes the gun, and then he fires it right next, bang, bang, to each of his ears to deafen it. And he's like laying down on the floor, and his ears are ringing like crazy.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, also Deborah, though.
Deborah has grabbed a crowbar, and she comes up, and she hits the gun out of Buddy's hand, and then she tries to hit him, but he like grabs her arm. The gun's on the ground now. Baby picks it up and shoots him, and he falls
staggers
down
backwards,
and he lands right on top of the car, which is on fire. And you're like, okay, he's definitely dead. And then the car explodes, and you're like, oh, he might actually be dead this time. Baby wakes up, and they're driving down this nice country road, and they have all these bullet holes in the windshield. Deborah turns to Baby, and she says, well, Baby, I guess it all worked out in the end.
And then they turn the corner, and there's a shit ton of police.
And Deborah, in true this movie fashion, throws into reverse, and she's like, let's get out of here. And
he reaches over, like, hits the brake.
And he kisses her and turns off the ignition. Here, let's show him what the kiss looked like.
Oh, yeah. He gets arrested, he goes to prison. It's like going to the court case. Like the old lady with the purse, he's like, yeah, you know, he actually said I'm sorry when he like stole my car.
Yeah, he gave me my purse. What a nice kid. Nice. Deborah's like, I think he's a good guy. We'll give it 25 years.
Yeah, he has a chance at parole after 5 years.
Like, wow, this is kind of cool. There aren't many movies where your action hero guy does his time. In the end, you know, normally they commit all these crimes, and then some mysterious power is like, okay, well, I'll take care of the details. Yeah. But no, he just went to prison.
So then in 5 years, Deborah's waiting outside.
And that's the end. And wow, I'm just so impressed with Deborah. I mean, he was smooth as hell, but they went on like 2 dates, and then it turned out he was a dangerous criminal. And then he killed a guy in front of her, and then she waits 5 years. You pick him right. Baby, good job. Turns out his real name was Miles all along, and that was that movie.
Now we can actually get our final review in before the camera.
Wait, let me see how much power the camera has left. It's actually like on its last leg here.
All right, here we go. So what would you give it?